Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Chef Christy, and you know what time it is. It is time to cook. And today I am making a traditional Thanksgiving stuffing. Now this is just an old classic recipe using some very basic ingredients. And I really think that sometimes those recipes that use the basic ingredients are some of the best. I know that there are many recipes out there for stuffing, and a lot of times families have their very favorites. This is how I make mine every single year, so I'm excited to share with you just how I do it and go over these ingredients with you and show you just how easy it is to make. So I have here half of an onion that I have cut into a dice, and then 1 stalk of celery that I have diced. But you can have 2 stalks of celery, 1 whole onion if you want. However much celery and onions you want, that is completely up to you. This is your stuffing. And then I have 1 stick of unsalted butter, 2 eggs, 2½ cups of chicken broth, 1½ tablespoons of dried sage, and then 1/2 teaspoon of ground dried poultry seasoning, and then I just have some salt and pepper. And then I have here 1 loaf of a whole wheat bread that I have cut into cubes, and then I toasted it into the oven so that it's nice and dried like croutons. Okay, and so what I have here is my cast iron skillet, and that's a little secret of mine. I always bake my stuffing in a cast iron skillet. I love what a cast iron skillet does to the stuffing, because you get this nice crispy edge of the stuffing. It's nice and moist inside. I just love it. But if you don't have one, that's completely fine. You can just add your stuffing mix to a baking dish and bake it in the oven, and it's completely fine. I have done that also. It's just the cast iron skillet is my preferred way to bake my stuffing. So I added my stick of butter to my skillet, and I'm going to let that melt. I'm going to go ahead and add my onions and my celery. I'm also going to add my sage and my poultry seasoning. I'm going to add some black pepper, and I'm going to add a couple pinches of salt. It smells like Thanksgiving when you add that sage and that poultry seasoning. Oh yeah. All right, so I'm just going to cook these onions and celery until the onions become translucent and everything is nice and tender. Doesn't take that long. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this onion and celery over my bread. And then I'm going to pour about half of this chicken broth over my bread. And give this a good stir. So, all right, so with the rest of my chicken broth, I'm going to add my eggs. All right, so then I'm going to pour my chicken broth and egg mixture. Okay, so then I'm just going to take the stuffing and put it into the iron skillet. So I think that the stuffing looks like it needs just a little bit more moisture. So I have a 1/2 cup of more chicken broth, and I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit more of this chicken broth right over top. And this is really how you like it. Some people like it a little bit drier, and some people like it a little bit wetter or more moist. It does dry out as it's in the oven, but that looks good to me. All right, so now I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and I'm going to bake it in a 375-degree oven for right around 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. I love stuffing, and cooking it in this cast iron skillet, oh, it just makes it the best. It just tastes like Thanksgiving on a plate. Yeah. So in honor of Thanksgiving, I have to say how thankful I am to each and every one of you who support my channel by subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. I just could not do this without you, and I'm so, so grateful. So thank you so much. God bless. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you soon with more recipes.